1. The morning it happened. It was a calm, golden Sunday morning. Mary, 72, had just finished watering her garden, her favorite daily ritual. The gentle sunlight touched the roses she'd cared for all summer, and a sense of peace filled the air. She felt healthy, content, and ready to enjoy her cup of tea. But as she sat down, she noticed a faint tingling in her right hand. It felt strange, almost like her fingers were falling asleep. She shook her hand, laughed it off, and said to herself, "Maybe I slept on it wrong." Moments later, as she reached for her teacup, her grip slipped, the porcelain cup shattered on the floor. Startled, she tried to call out, but her voice sounded heavy and unclear. Within seconds, her body began to betray her, though she didn't understand why. 2. The moment that changed everything. Next door, her neighbor Lisa heard the crash and hurried over. What she saw stopped her in her tracks. Mary's face looked uneven, one corner of her mouth drooped as if she were struggling to smile. When Lisa asked, "Are you okay?" Mary tried to respond, but her words came out slurred, almost unrecognizable. A wave of panic hit Lisa, but she remembered something she had learned at a community health class: the signs of a stroke. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call for help. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and dialed emergency services. Paramedics arrived within minutes, rushing Mary to the hospital. That one decision made in the first few moments became the turning point that would save Mary's speech, movement, and independence. 3. Inside the battle for her brain. While Lisa waited anxiously at the hospital, doctors confirmed what had happened. Mary had suffered an ischemic stroke, the most common type. A small blood clot had blocked one of the arteries in her brain, cutting off oxygen to the area that controls movement and speech on the right side of her body. Inside her brain, every passing minute was critical. Nearly 2 million brain cells were dying each minute the clot stayed in place. But because Lisa acted fast, the medical team could administer a powerful clot-busting drug called TPA, which must be given within the first 3 hours of symptom onset. Slowly, the blood began to flow again, and the damage stopped spreading. Over the next 2 weeks, with therapy and care, Mary regained her strength and her speech. She walked out of the hospital smiling, a survivor because someone recognized the warning signs and refused to wait. 4. The silent build-up. Many seniors believe strokes strike suddenly like lightning out of a clear sky, but the truth is far more subtle and far more dangerous. In most cases, a stroke is years in the making. It builds quietly, layer by layer, as small changes in the body go unnoticed or untreated. High blood pressure creeps in, arteries stiffen, sugar levels rise, and tiny clots begin to form in the blood. Day after day, these hidden pressures weaken the blood vessels in the brain until one day, they can no longer hold on. What looks like a sudden attack is often the final chapter of a story that's been unfolding silently for years. 5. The hidden causes behind the threat. High blood pressure stands at the top of the list. Known as the silent killer, it slowly damages the delicate walls of blood vessels over the years, making them stiff, weak, and more prone to rupture or blockage. The damage is gradual and invisible. There are often no obvious symptoms until something catastrophic happens. Then there's uncontrolled diabetes, another stealthy threat. High blood sugar levels gradually weaken blood vessels and reduce their flexibility, leaving the brain's arteries particularly vulnerable. High cholesterol adds another layer of danger. Fatty deposits slowly accumulate inside the arteries, narrowing the passageways that carry blood to the brain and increasing the likelihood of clots forming. Smoking further compounds the risk. Nicotine and other chemicals in cigarettes thicken the blood and make it stickier, accelerating clot formation and increasing the chance of a sudden blockage. And let's not forget inactivity, a quiet companion of aging that often goes unnoticed. Many seniors spend hours sitting with little movement, and this lack of activity slows circulation, reduces oxygen flow to tissues, and allows blood to stagnate. On their own, these factors might seem minor, easy to ignore, or just a part of aging. But together, they create the perfect storm, quietly setting the stage for a stroke that can strike without warning. Mary's story shows how years of small, overlooked habits can become life-threatening. She struggled with high blood pressure but often skipped her medication, thinking she felt fine. Each missed dose strained her arteries, slowly weakening her brain's vessels. Over time, this silent buildup made her vulnerable to a sudden stroke, nearly costing her independence, mobility, and confidence. It wasn't an accident, it was the result of years of unnoticed. 6. How to protect yourself and your loved ones. A stroke can happen suddenly, but the truth is most strokes are preventable. Protecting yourself and your loved ones starts with awareness and small, consistent actions that strengthen your heart and brain every day. Check your blood pressure regularly. High blood pressure is the single biggest risk factor for a stroke. It silently damages blood vessels, making them weaker and more likely to burst or clog. Make it a habit to check your blood pressure at home or during doctor visits. Ideally, aim to keep it below 130/80 mmHg. If it's higher, talk to your doctor about medication or lifestyle changes. Remember, controlling your blood pressure is like protecting the pipes that carry life to your brain. Eat brain-friendly foods. Your diet plays a direct role in keeping your blood vessels clear and flexible. Choose foods rich in omega-3 fats and antioxidants like salmon, sardines, walnuts, olive oil, avocados, and leafy greens. These help reduce inflammation and lower cholesterol. Add fruits like berries and citrus for vitamin C and flavonoids, which support healthy blood flow. Limit processed foods, red meat, and added salt. They raise blood pressure and increase plaque buildup in arteries. Stay hydrated and active. Even gentle activity like a 20-minute walk, light yoga, or stretching boosts circulation, keeps your arteries flexible, and helps maintain a healthy weight. Dehydration thickens your blood, making clots more likely, so make sure to drink enough water throughout the day. Movement is medicine. Every step strengthens your brain's defense system. Avoid smoking and limit alcohol. Smoking constricts blood vessels and damages their inner lining, speeding up the buildup of fatty deposits. Quitting is one of the most powerful ways to reduce stroke risk no matter your age. As for alcohol, moderation is key. Too much can raise blood pressure and damage the liver, affecting how your body manages fats and sugars. Know your numbers. Keep track of your blood sugar, cholesterol, and weight. High blood sugar from diabetes or insulin resistance can damage vessel walls over time. High cholesterol can form blockages that stop blood from reaching your brain. By knowing your numbers, you can catch risks early before they turn into danger. Get good sleep. Sleep isn't just rest, it's recovery for your brain and heart. Poor sleep increases blood pressure, stress hormones, and inflammation, all of which raise your stroke risk. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. Maintain a regular bedtime, avoid screens before sleep, and keep your room quiet and cool. And most importantly, share this knowledge. Many people believe strokes only happen to the elderly, but that's no longer true. Doctors are now seeing more cases in adults in their 40s and even 30s. Awareness saves lives because the earlier you act, the greater the chance. A full recovery. 7. The emotional aftermath. Mary's message. A few months after her stroke, Mary sat on her porch with her granddaughter, the evening sun casting a warm glow across her garden. She looked at the flowers she once thought she'd never water again and said quietly, "I never thought something so small, a numb hand, could change everything. If my neighbor hadn't acted fast, I wouldn't be sitting here today." That moment of awareness, the courage to act, gave Mary a second chance at life. Her recovery wasn't easy. There were days she struggled to speak clearly, days when she needed help just to button her shirt. But with patience, therapy, and gratitude, she regained her strength one step at a time. Now, Mary dedicates her time to helping others. She volunteers at a local senior center, sharing her experience and teaching older adults how to spot the early warning signs of a stroke. When she speaks, people listen not just because she survived, but because her story is proof that awareness and quick action can mean the difference between life and loss. Her message is simple but powerful. Don't ignore the little things. A drooping smile, a weak arm, slurred speech, they're not small signs. They're your body's alarm bells. Act fast. You might save a life, maybe even your own. 8. You can save a life. A stroke can be silent until it's not. It doesn't always arrive with pain or a clear warning. Sometimes, It begins quietly: a numb hand, a slight dizziness, or a few slurred words that are easy to dismiss. But behind those small changes, the brain is fighting for oxygen, and every second counts. Recognizing those early signs and acting fast can make the difference between full recovery and lifelong disability. When you see a loved one struggling to smile evenly, raise an arm, or speak clearly, don't wait and hope it passes. Every minute that slips away means nearly 2 million brain cells are lost forever. Time isn't just precious, it's life itself. The faster medical help arrives, the greater the chance of reversing the damage before it becomes permanent. Mary's story reminds us that awareness is one of the most powerful tools we have. Her neighbor's quick action saved her speech, her movement, and her independence, proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they recognize the signs and respond without hesitation. That's the message we all need to carry forward. Learn the signs, trust your instincts, and take action immediately if something feels wrong. Because the next person who spots those subtle symptoms, that uneven smile, that weak arm, that slurred voice, might be the one who saves a life. Maybe even yours. So before you scroll away, take a moment to share this message with someone you love: a parent, a friend, or even a neighbor. You never know who might need this information tomorrow. Sometimes, a simple message like this can be the difference between life and loss. Together, we can build awareness, protect our families, and make sure no one faces a stroke unprepared. Your small action today, sharing this video, talking about the signs, or reminding someone to check their blood pressure, could save a life. So don't forget to like, share, and hit the subscribe button to help spread this message further. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't miss the next video.